Hello, today I would like to give you a very brief overview about the program of people born on July 25th leap years or July 26th common years. All information is taken from the catalog of human population. The given lady can be compared to a lubricant inside of a motor or some other mechanism. Just like oil, her major functions are to wash, rinse, rewash, and dilute. In other words, to keep mechanisms function properly. Only in this case, the mechanism is any group of people, a friendly company, a professional creative community, co-workers, family. This lady is extremely sociable and has many acquaintances. This quality of hers is often realized in a collective body or a group organized by her. For example, she can be a radio journalist organizing live interviews or conferences on the air, or an employee of a big company that organizes corporate parties. Or she can be a housewife who decides to arrange a reception at her house for her spouse's business partners, or undertook the organization of a high school or college reunion. Throughout her life, this lady always belongs to some community and desires to be in crowds of people. She carries the function of a lubricant to help people's interactions and makes it so that gathered people feel comfortable and free to communicate, engage in business, exchange ideas, and so on. At various events, she takes on the duty of acquainting everyone, helping everyone engage in conversation and reach mutual understanding with other members of the group. She makes it psychologically easier for people to communicate with each other. For this purpose, she can use alcohol, for example, as one of ways to establish connections. She herself also provides the participants and makes sure that everyone shows up by the means of, for example, sending invitations, calling people up, and then calling people again, everyone who confirmed, to remind them about the meeting. Basically, she does everything to make sure that all confirmed participants actually show up. This woman certainly loves and knows how to communicate and be part of a group. But there is also one more motivation to her constantly being part of the crowd. The thing is that this woman, especially when she's young, aspires to periodically let some innovations into her life. And one of her goals of having a huge quantity of friends, gatherings, and events is to all the time have an opportunity to receive some new impressions, experiences, information, and ideas from the environment. This allows her to get regular injections of something new and unusual on a regular basis. It is also necessary to note, to this lady, the most attractive communities are ones where everyone is socially equipped, stable, and where there are prospects of long-term coexistence. From time to time, all parameters of the given lady show a shade of strange, ridiculous behavior, which looks excessive, monstrous, painful, mad, senseless, and abnormal to others. It is possible to say that she is eccentric. This quality is inborn in her, and it is her natural characteristic. And therefore, the concept of eccentric is no more than an external judgment caused by standard perception that is imposed by society. As it is known, in society, there is in fact a long-term habit of following standard models. This lady too may seem to be identifiable at first, but then, suddenly and absolutely unexpectedly, everything changes. For example, a businesswoman comes to a business meeting. By all parameters, she corresponds to both her status and the situation, looks businesslike, has a business suit on, and behaves adequately. And then suddenly, those who are present at the meeting see somebody who does not at all correspond to the status of a woman engaged in business. She begins to behave like a seductress. Even worse, this lady acts like a lady of thoughtless behavior. Her words, mimicry, poses, and actions are completely beyond the business standards and cease to correspond to standards of behavior of a businesswoman. Or, for example, at the beginning of a business meeting, she can come up with a serious, interesting idea or offer, and then, as they say without a declaration of war, begin telling jokes or stories about her children, home, latest vacation, etc. Another example. This decently dressed lady, who looks intelligent and stays within certain bounds, drinks 1 or 2 servings of some liqueur and changes completely and cardinally, right before one's eyes. Suddenly, she becomes an unruly, sexually concerned person and starts telling dirty jokes, laughs very loudly, and almost performs a striptease before the eyes of the amazed business people. But, as has already been mentioned, quick and cardinal change in appearance and behavior of the given lady is not always connected with the condition of alcoholic intoxication. Similar changes can occur at any time for no reason and without the use of any narcotics by her. And for others, that looks even more surprising, unclear, and strange. Constantly present disparities between the social role and her behavior disorients people, confuses them, and does not allow them to identify who is before them and what to expect from this lady. Maybe she's crazy. But this lady looks eccentric only because by nature she has the ability to very quickly change from one standard character recognized in a society to some other, which absolutely does not correspond to her appearance, clothes, or social status. She is very capricious by nature, and her ridiculous tricks supplement that. Secondly, she is capable of using extremely malicious language. When she wishes to vex someone, for example, she will do it rather fragrantly, with a long-lasting aftertaste. Using the language of psychiatrists, all this combined quite often is referred to as mentally unstable. But the strangeness of the given lady does not end here. Her preferences and interests are rather unusual as well. For example, original combinations can be attractive. A disco at a note partially destroyed castle, or a decent house with a well-groomed landscape where there is a crazy party full of dissipation, everyone drinks and engages in group sex. The given person is inclined to be captured by some wild or original hobby, or several. And the stranger, the better. Her hobbies can take a form of those that some well-known people allowed themselves. Like Salvador Dali, for example, who once dragged around a porcupine to shock the public. Or like women of fashion who placed aquariums with small live fish in heels of their shoes. But in her extravagance, which is the norm for this lady, she may not even notice at all that her actions have an impact on people around her, like the sound of metal on glass. Just like she does not notice that others may perceive her with a feeling of deep horror and loathing.